Hello friends, I'm back with another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about JavaScript a bit. This is going to help those who wants to learn JavaScript or starting to learn it. So what is JavaScript? Okay, so JavaScript is basically a client-side scripting language. So let's see how it works, right? So as you can see in the diagram here, so this is a user which requests for a page on internet www.google.com, for example. It goes to server and then server sends back an HTML page. As you can see here, script document.write hello user. So what happens is at the client in the browser, when the script gets loaded, it will execute at the client side. So that's why it is called scripting language. Okay. So JavaScript basically, is not Java, so do not get confused with it. Okay, so both of the languages are totally different and it's not related to each other. So time to start learning, but let's see what we are going to cover in this video. Okay, so first thing will be writing simple JavaScript, then variables, function will cover, and flow control statement and loop. So this is what we are going to cover. So let's fire up the browser, and so here I have a browser open, and right click on the page like and do inspect. So you will see this uh, debugger panel here. Click on console. Now here what you need to do is let's create a file called index.html. So before that you can write use any editor that you prefer and open any folder inside that editor, then create a file called index.html. If you are using Sublime, you can simply type HTML and it will create a snippet. Okay, so learning JavaScript. Okay, then for this tutorial, we'll start writing the code in the body tag for script. Okay, if you work on the HTML version before HTML5, we need to specify type and all those stuff, but in HTML5 it is not needed. So let's write a simple JavaScript here. Document.write hello JavaScript. Okay, and load this HTML page in your browser. So I already have the path, so you can see code gets executed here. Okay, so this is how basically we work. So you can write script tag inside head also, and then you can say something like hello JavaScript, I am executing from head tag. Save it and refresh. So you can see it executes here also. Okay. So how to know if JavaScript is working? So click on this Chrome settings panel and then disable the JavaScript. Okay. And refresh the page. So you can see everything is gone, and that proves it that it is a client-side scripting language. So once it runs on client, then it executes and shows the output. Okay, so let's enable this again, close this out, refresh, and we are back with the content. Okay, all right, so let's move to variable declarations and all those stuff. So let's remove the script tag and let's move with head tag. So what we can do here is, so we have variable. So for variable in JavaScript, you use a var keyword. Okay, so you can use var keyword and then provide the name of the variable. So it can be anything that you think of, but there are some rules regarding the defining the variable which you can check on the internet. But for now, let's get started with this. So I can say ElAnandKumar, and then let's say document.write hello and say plus and name. Okay, and save the file and refresh it here. So you can see it says hello Anand Kumar, right? So this particular variable is of type string. Okay, so string is also kind of object because when you create any variable, so in this case it is string, so you can, it provides some of the methods and properties. In this case we can have length. Okay, and then if you refresh it here, it will give you the length of that particular string. Okay, so this is how it gets stored. Okay, Next, we have a variable which is like of Boolean type where you can have true or false. Okay. Then we also have variable of type number, like you can define numbers. Okay. And then you can say like num and save, refresh, you see the output. Okay. Next, we are going to look at the array. So to define an array, you can simply create two pair of square bracket, and then inside that you can have data something like this. Okay, and then here if you want to access it, you can simply say array1. So array basically gets indexed, and index starts from 0. So this one becomes the 0th element, the first and the second one. So if you say arr and then square bracket 1, it will print Kumar here in the browser, and you can see the output is as expected. All right, so this is a very basic variable thing that we wanted to show you. Next, move to the function. So define a function, what we do is we use a keyword called function, and then we can say here like say hello. Okay, and then uh, let's have document dot write, then say hello. Okay, and let's so function basically doesn't work in itself directly, so nothing will happen if you refresh the browser because you have to call the this function. So let's do it from the body tag. Okay, so let's create the script here and say hello. Okay, and then refresh the browser and you will see the output here. In function, basically we can also pass parameters and the arguments. So for example, here let's say I want a name argument to be coming here, and I can pass it as a parameter from here. Okay, and then let's print this out here. So I just concatenate, refresh, and you can see say hello Anand. So this is how a function works. Now moving to flow control statements, we will be looking into if else condition. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, remove this code for now, and then here I'll say variable uh, num data or something equals to 10, and then if condition is basically the syntax is you write if, and then you can put the code inside this curly bracket block, and if you want to have else, you can have it like this, or if you want to have else if, you can do something like this. Okay, so let's put some condition here inside this parenthesis. You need to put the condition. So let's say num data, if num data is greater than uh, 12, then let's say document dot write and say num data is greater than 12. Okay, let's copy this and paste it 2 times here. So else condition is going to be the default one. So if this one doesn't match, it will check for this one, and if this is also false, then it will go to the default one. So here I'll say it is less than 10, it is greater than, so if num data is greater than 12, less than 12, else we'll think what need to be put here, but let's put num data less than 12. So else, so it when it is greater than 12 or less than 12, it means the else condition is going to be it is equal. So let's say num data is equal to 12. Now because we have num data set to 10, so we are expecting it to execute this second condition here. So let's save it and run it. So you can see num data is greater than, oh, okay, so I did a typo here. It should be less than 10, 12. Okay, so let's refresh it again, and you can see num data is less than 12. So this is how if else condition works. Okay, now next look into the for loop. Okay, so for loop is something which you can use to loop on particular data, or number of times if you want to execute something. So let's say for var I equals to 0. So what I'm saying here is loop to start the loop with 0, and I'm defining a variable called I. Then I say I less than, for example, 5. So loop should execute until unless this condition matches. So if I is less than 5, it will execute, otherwise it will stop execution. And here I say I plus plus. So after each loop, I will be incrementing here. Then put the curly bracket, and inside that, let's say document.write, and let's say current value of I is, and then say I. Okay, let's see what happens. So you can see, right, current value of I is 0, then 1, 2, 3, and 4. It went up to 4 because in the next value it will become I become 5, and which is not less than 5, as we have seen in the if condition, right? So this is basically the condition for execution. So before this code executes, this condition should be fulfilled. Okay, so this is how actually it works. Okay, so that covers the loop. And I wanted to keep this video very short and just to give you a glimpse of the JavaScript. So go ahead and look for the resources and get started. More videos are to come, and you can subscribe to channel and not get the subscription for notification also. Thanks for watching.